Here. Janice kindly gave me a bio for her, so I am going to take it and get rid of it entirely. Because why would we use a bio to introduce Janice? Janice is, this is going to sound corny, but Janice is one of my heroes. I admire Janice for what she does. I admire Janice's work ethic, her spirit in life. I first met Janice when she joined BNI Mavericks, and they talked about having this blind lady join. And I thought, I've got these images of a person walking around with a white cane. I think, okay, that's a good thing. And then I realized that it was like, window coverings. Like, oh, okay, it makes sense now. And as the chapter went around, there was a little bit of turmoil in the chapter. And we approached Janice about stepping up as president. She was vice president, having come on partway through a term. And Janice, bless her heart, said, yeah, I'll probably do it, but I need a couple of days to think about it. And I've learned that from Janice. She's not one of these people that just jumps in and says yes. She thinks about it and analyzes it. And then she steps up and says yes. And then she not only knocks it out of the park, she knocks it out of the universe, becomes president of the year. So just dramatic. So Janice's 3 great accomplishments in life. She talks about here in her bio: beating cancer, finishing the Boston Marathon, and being the 2021 recipient of a giversgain award. So I think that says it all about Janice. And without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to you, Janice. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. That was lovely. I was a little nervous when you threw that piece of paper away, but you really pulled through. If you wouldn't mind, Stephen, just enabling the screen share so that I could share that. And as we're getting started here, I will just talk a little bit about what I'm going to talk about today. And so, as Stephen mentioned, I am my hashtag is hashtag blind enthusiasm. So Lawrence has got hashtag blind or hashtag BNI guy. I'm hashtag blind enthusiasm. I'm going to start my presentation from the beginning. And I really do have a passion for what I do. And the two things that I'm really, really passionate about are BNI, true story, and social media. And my journey with these two things has actually sort of coincided. And I've spent a considerable amount of time learning about social media. I do it for my business. It's not my background. And I've learned a couple of things. And I had a really big aha kind of moment. And maybe you already know this, but I'm going to share it with you. And that moment was when I realized that social media is one gigantic, forever, ongoing, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day networking event. It really is. And so when I say that to you folks, and especially here in this room, it should immediately begin to tear down some of the mystery and the illusion of how to be successful on social media, because we're BNI members. And if there's one thing we're great at, it's networking. And we're great at it because we have the tools and the support in order to learn how to do it effectively. And at the core of everything that we do, our foundation are BNI's 7 core values. And so that's where I'm going to focus with you today. I want to talk about how you can take the principles of networking and the 7 core values of BNI, apply them to your business, and apply them to the way that you show up online to grow your business and grow your network. So I also love to surf. So this is not what I look like on a surfboard, but I thought, hey, welcome to the internet, follow me. So are we ready? Here we go. So I'm going to start with traditions and innovation. And it might seem like a little bit of a strange place to start, but I do have method behind my madness. And here's why. 5 years ago, I was this lady with my hand up, meaning I don't want to talk about social media. I had never even been on Facebook. True story, 5 years ago, never been on Facebook. And the thing that I told anyone who would listen is that, my business doesn't do traditional advertising. I'm based on business to business relationships, word of mouth referrals. That's the way I like it. And I don't want to change it. Super resistant to social media. And so the very first thing that you kind of have to wrap your head around, and it can be a bit of a mind shift. And I'm going to make a bold statement, but social media has absolutely nothing to do with advertising. Remember what I said a couple of minutes ago. It is one gigantic networking event. I want you to imagine for a minute that somewhere out there, there's a room full of people, your peers, your colleagues, your potential customers, your current customers, thousands of them. They're all getting together and they're talking about you, or they're talking about the need for your business, and you aren't there. We all know that the very first step to profitability in any kind of networking is what? It's visibility, right? If you're not in the room, you're not top of mind and you're not part of the conversation. So I had always said that we are built on business to business relationships, word of mouth referrals, and those were our traditions. And those are important. Traditions tell us where we come from, what we value, and who we are. But Dr. Ivan Meisner says, if we don't innovate, we stagnate. So the very first suggestion I have for you today is that if you're not on social media, or if you're not participating in any kind of large way, it's time to innovate. You want to adapt to the marketplace. You want to be top of mind. You want to be part of those conversations. It doesn't matter which platform you choose. If you're not on social media, pick one. Doesn't matter which one. It doesn't have to be perfect. Because the wonderful thing about all of this, and I'm testament to this, is that you can learn as you go. So that brings me to lifelong learning. Now, lifelong learning is a really important core value because when you're learning, you're growing, right? And as we just discussed, if you're not learning, if you're not adapting, you're stagnating. So how do we go about learning the strategies of how to actually do the day-to-day things for social media? Number one, guess what? You're part of a very powerful network of people. In our chapters, in our regions across the globe, we have people who are social media consultants or digital marketing experts. They do this for a living and they are incredible. And these folks, for the most part, they're really generous with their time and with information. And even, you know what, if you got to pay for a little bit of consulting, it is well worth every penny. So reach out to those people in your chapters and your regions. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to follow them online. So whatever platform you're on, doesn't matter, but seek them out and follow them. Follow lots of marketing companies because these folks, their content strategy involves giving you content strategy. If social media doesn't exist, they don't have a job. So a lot of what they do is they give you tips and tricks, what to post, what hashtags to use. Sometimes I have seen companies post entire months worth of content for you. Seriously. So follow them online. Sign up for their newsletters. I know, our inboxes are like full, right? But once or twice a month, you're going to get a free newsletter that's going to give you tips and tricks. You scan it, you don't see something that's useful to you, delete it. But it's a great way to support them. And again, it's a great way to get some of those little freebie tricks like how do you optimize your profile on LinkedIn? Free. Join Facebook groups. Remember that room I was talking about earlier where all the people were having conversations? This is that room. There's business owners and experts there. They're all talking, they're learning from one another, and they're sharing their experiences. So this is a great way to get involved and to learn at the same time. So finding a Facebook, again, you don't have to do all of them, but find one or two that you think you would find value out of and join them. And lastly, you want to attend workshops and webinars. I've done maybe one per quarter over the last 4 years of these workshops. They charge pennies for these things. I think the last one I attended was $25 and I got 6 months worth of content out of it. It was well worth the 25 bucks. And if you just attended a workshop 6 months ago, you're going to attend another one now. Because if there's one thing that we know, it's that learning never ends. And in the digital space, things change very, very rapidly, like sometimes by the hour. So you want to continually be doing education so that you can stay on top of how you need to adapt to keep your content relevant to the people who are there for you. So right now, I just told you, get on social media and learn everything you possibly can. How many of you are thinking, dear Lord, Janice, I don't have time for this? It's okay. You can be honest, because it does take time. So we're going to talk about time in terms of accountability. So I have a question for you. When BNI members come to us and they tell us, I don't have time to do BNI, what do we tell them? We ask them to schedule it into their week. We ask them to schedule the weekly meeting. We ask them to schedule one-to-ones. We ask them to make the commitment to do those day-to-day activities that are going to make them successful. We ask them to make it a part of the way they do business. And that is exactly the mindset you want to have when it comes to your social media. So here's some really simple things you can do to schedule this into your week, because if it doesn't get scheduled, it will get dropped. Number one, choose a schedule and stick to it. So whatever platform you're on, you want to be able to post consistently. Consistency is the key when it comes to showing up online. So then the magic question, how many times a week should I post? There's a lot of different answers to that question, but the really simple answer is this. The number of times that you should post is the number of times that you can commit to and stick to consistently. So if that's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, if that's Tuesday, Thursday, if that's Sunday, Thursday, Saturday, whatever that is for you, pick a day, pick a time, and do it consistently, because it's those consistent behaviors that the algorithm likes, that the followers like, and it's a great way to just always be there at the same time all the time. And the way that you can do that really easily is to use a scheduling tool or a program. So these are programs that are available that allow you to sit down. So you're going to schedule it into your week, sit down for an hour or two, and batch your content. So you're going to make 5 posts or 10 posts or whatever that looks like for you, and you set them to be posted at later dates. So 1 hour of your time equals maybe a week or 2 worth of content. And you can do it across multiple platforms. Sometimes there's a fee with these programs. Again, I was really resistant to this. I started doing it about 8 months ago. Changed my world, like seriously, changed my entire week. Took a whole bunch of stress off. So I'm not going to endorse one or the other, but if you want some help with this, I'm happy to chat about that later. And the last thing when it comes to time, and this is actually the most important one, is you actually need to schedule time to be online. Schedule time to engage. This is actually the time where you're going to scroll, like, share, comment, ask questions. You need to be strategic about this. It doesn't have to be a ton of time, because we don't want to get sucked into the vortex and wind up like this lady, right? So set a timer, 10 to 20 minutes a day or every other day, whatever that looks like. Set a timer, be accountable to it, and be strategic about where you're engaging with people. Because this is very important, because it's about building relationships. So Scott Stratton wrote a book called Unmarketing. He wrote it 10 years ago. Some of the stuff is like, he talks about teleconferencing in it, and I didn't even know what that was. That's how old, how quickly things have changed. But he said this: if you believe that business is built on relationships, then make building them your business. So building relationships is the number one thing that we need to do well in order to be effective at networking. We know this. So how do we build relationships? The one thing we know we don't do is we don't walk into a networking event, throw our cards out, leave, and then wait for everybody to come knocking on our door. We know this, but we do it online all the time. We jump on, we post an offer that we have, or we post about our product or service, and then we're gone. But you need to start investing time in building relationships before you're going to see any kind of significant return. So how do we do this? Again, it's really simple. Interact with people. We talked about scheduling it into your day, into your week. Schedule time to interact, and remember what a good networker does. Be interested. Ask genuine questions. Ask people about their business. Spend time with other businesses or referral partners and really get to know them. This isn't about spamming. It's about building relationships. And for goodness sake, you guys, please, please, please respond to the comments and questions that you get on your feed. Not doing this is the equivalent of not returning a phone call or an email from a potential client or referral partner. So always engage with your followers. Next, post content about you. So remember, people want to do business. I saw that face. Who made that face? People want to do business with people they know, like, and trust. They're curious about you. They want to catch a glimpse into your day or, how you do business. You really want to, balance out how much you're talking about your products and your services and, putting offers out there, because people don't want to be sold to all the time. So your engagement will suffer if you're selling all the time. So you want to focus on being relational, not transactional. And the last thing I'm going to say about this is that don't worry about your follower count. And that might be a controversial statement, but here's why I'm saying that. People use the number of followers they have as a metric to gauge their success on social media. But if it's truly a networking event, we do not need a network a mile wide and an inch deep, right? You want to focus on putting out engaging, positive content and building relationships, and your following will grow organically. And that's what you want, is organic growth. Okay, so there's 3 left, and these are my favorite because they're all about the good vibes, and I love good vibes. So let's talk about positive attitude. So I'm not talking a whole lot about what to post, what not to post, but I do want to address this one thing. This is a tough one because, social media is charged. It's an emotionally charged place. And we know that. We've seen that, especially over the last little while. But here's the thing. Every post, every comment you make, whether it's on your personal or your company, is a direct extension of your company's brand, period. We have all been at a networking event where that person is constantly complaining or being negative. What do we call? We call them energy vampires or something like that, right? A positive attitude is the hallmark of a great networker. I can also guarantee you that every single person in this room, if you're on Facebook, has one of these people on their Facebook, at least one, just one, probably a few more than just one, right? Don't be that person. Be positive. The things that you say can impact your credibility and other people's ability to trust you as a professional. So be impeccable with your words. And my BNI Alberta North members are going to recognize this because we talked about it. Be impeccable with your words always. Your words are magic and they're powerful. And they have the ability to draw people in or the ability to push people away. And words are powerful. So let's talk about using our words in terms of recognition. I love recognition on social media because it's a really simple way to generate content. It's a really easy way to build your credibility, build the credibility of the people around you. And it's a super easy way to get referrals for your network. How many times did you hear this statement in the past year? I'm not seeing people, so I can't give referrals. Yes? Some nods. Did we hear that from our members? Here's an interesting statistic for you. 43% of people are more likely to buy a product if their friends recommend it on their social media. Your words have the power to influence the way that people buy things. So use your social media as a way to create those referral opportunities. There's something, there's the hashtag Testimonial Tuesday. Most people use Testimonial Tuesday as a way to brag about themselves, right? We put out a testimonial that someone wrote about our business. That's fantastic. It's a great way to generate some content. But what if a couple times a month, you wrote a testimonial for somebody else and you posted that to your social media? That would greatly raise the profile of the people around you. And believe me, it works. So there's a few ways you can do this. There's Feature Friday, there's Small Business Saturday, there's Shout Out Sunday, Man Crush Monday, Women Crushing It Wednesday. I mean, the possibilities are endless, but just take the time to recognize the people who you do business with who are incredible. And again, I'm telling you, this works. I've been doing it consistently for the last 6 or 7 months. You become the person who knows people. And people will just start reaching out to you. Hey, 6 months ago, you said something about a travel agent. Everything's opening up again. Can you introduce me to her? Easy, right? So keep it simple and recognize people. And the last one I'm going to finish with, and normally we start these things off with giversgain, but I'm finishing with it because of this. It's what I want to leave you with. What I want just sort of lingering in your mind. Giversgain is the foundation of everything we do at BNI. It's what makes us different than any other networking organization. Without it, none of this exists. So use your social media as a platform to create a community of giversgain. What better way to grow your network than to attract people who also have an abundance and giving mindset? And so, can social media be an energy sucking vortex of like time wasting activity? Absolutely, it certainly can. And I'm not suggesting that you spend all of your time there. Believe me, your eyes get dry. It's not good for you, right? But when you do choose to show up on social media, do it in the way that a great BNI member does. Do it being your best self. So you always want to focus on giving when and where you can, building people up, providing value rather than selling, promote positivity, and recognize your network. And when you do these things, make them part of your personality, make them a part of your company's brand, and you do this consistently, time and time again, I promise you that your network will grow, your business will grow, and you will find opportunities that other people are totally missing out on because all they're doing is selling. So that is my time for the day. This is how you get a hold of me. So I've got 2 email addresses, one through Camelot Interiors and one through BNI Alberta. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on TikTok. So those are my choices. Sort of varying variations of these handles here. So find me there. I'm just going to ask that if you're on Facebook or LinkedIn, send me a message and just let me know that this is where we met, because I'm kind of choosy about who I let into those 2 worlds. But TikTok and Instagram are wide open. So I would love to see you there. I'm going to stop screen sharing so I can see you all.
Could I make a comment?
Yeah.
And I didn't even actually realize it until you were saying it just now. But I was trying to think, Janice, if you and I have actually ever had like a real conversation in person before.
I don't think we have ever.
I visited your chapter and I remember seeing you there, but I don't know if we actually talked. And if I remember correctly, when you were new, you were quite shy at the beginning. I should ask Stephen that, he would know better. But when you said that, you can build a relationship through social media, and it's like and I'd have to say that's like what our relationship is. I feel like I know you pretty well. I feel like we're like friends, but we've never really interacted in real life.
100%. You're so right. I never thought about that, but you're right. Lawrence and I have never met, but we interact almost daily on social media, and I totally feel like I know you. Yeah.
And so what you just said just hit home with me that it's true. And like I started working with BNI in Ontario during COVID, and my only way to connect with them is like this or through social media. And I feel like I have a really strong relationship with a lot of the members in Ontario because we interact on Facebook. They comment on Instagram. I comment on their Instagram, so I know their friends and family. So I don't know. I thought your presentation was fantastic, and it really hit home. It's true. What you're saying makes a difference.
Yeah. Thank you, Lawrence, for sure. Yeah. Is there any other questions?
Yeah, my question.
I just have a comment. Janice, if you were shy to start with, you give us all hope.
I'm one of those strange introverted extroverts, so I can really kind of jump out and be like the life of the party, but I retreat very quickly into my shell for some restore time.
You did an excellent job. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Carrie. Deb.
As you know, I'm always in awe, and I do follow you, and I have been commenting and trying to connect. And if you couldn't see anybody, how did you know I was making a grimace face, first of all?
It was actually Tristina's face that I
saw.
There's nothing like being put on the spot by the look on your face in the Zoom call. Yeah, that's where I wish my camera would have been off. It's like... Yeah, I saw my own face and went shite.
So how do you feel what you're saying applies both to your personal Facebook and your business one? So what are you talking about when you're meaning following? Like should you be doing duplicate then through both your business and personal, or how would you kind of direct there a bit?
Yeah, so and there's different ways that you can do that, but the way that I focus on my personal stuff is really about like building that positivity in that community and like talking about me and who I am and the things that I care about. And then through my business is, I talk more about like the values of my company and my husband and I, because we operate our business together, and all the shenanigans that we kind of get involved in. And then I cross share. So if you go to my Instagram for Janice Baskin and my Instagram for Camelot Interiors, you'll sort of see the differences and how I share them between the two. Because I want people on my personal to know what I do, but I'm not promoting my business through my personal. I'm doing that through my business account.
So the thing is, as a couple, like Dave and I are, we're not comfortable in front of like camera ourselves, right? So that makes it very difficult on the content. Like I watch what you guys do, and I'm just in awe of your ideas and your chutzpah, to kind of just do it, right? So I think that's the hardest part, is that personal content.
Yeah, and I think you bring up a really good point, and so I would never suggest that somebody fake it. You want to be as authentic as you possibly can, because otherwise people will know. And also you don't, if Dave is dancing around and he's being all wild and crazy, and he is kind of wild and crazy, but if he doesn't, have that personality when he shows up to a client's house, then you're going to be off brand and people are going to be confused. So I would try in any way that you can, that when you're representing yourself as the face of your business, that you're just authentic to who you are. So for you guys, if you're not comfortable doing video, it might be as simple as just getting some really great professional photos done so that you can post those so people know the face behind the company.